Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Magic Arena Run. Today we are doing Jump In because Edge of Eternities just finally came out. Actually, it's just the release days. Actually, the timing is so perfect for this one. Been in a bit of a sabbatical. Some games here and there, but otherwise, trying to take things lightly. Final Fantasy just came and went in a flash, and now we're excited for this one. And then we have two more sets to look forward to in the rest of the year. But for now, we get to do Jump In with all Edge of Eternities. So greenhouse. Okay, so I'm guessing this is a bunch of warp and probably ramp. Otherwise, it's just counters. I have no idea. There's the void mechanic, which focuses on um things leaving your permanents leaving the non-land, your permanents leaving the battlefield or your stuff getting warped. And then there's stations, which I'm still a bit iffy on how good or not they are, so I might just play it safe. I'll take Void because they seem to have really good removal. Well, I guess I could have gone all in on stations there. When Pyrrhic, so even more sacrificing. Artifacts, if we had taken stations, this would probably be a good fit there. Got the greenhouse again, but I guess we're going for a Pyrrhic Void. Void Pyrrhic. Something something. So let's do a quick look on the deck just to see what we have to work with. So we got Solterra the Super Void. Also remember that this jump in is a phantom event, so we're not keeping any of these cards. So I'm gonna check to see if we still have if we have a jump in set specific for Edge, or if we have to play the regular one and risk having to get everything else. So whenever a creature you control dies, each opponent chooses a creature they control and exiles it. So you want your stuff to die while this is out to get rid of their stuff, and we get to reanimate something. So that's one of our key cards. I'm looking for let's look for the other rare, Elegy Acolyte. Whenever one or more creatures you control deals one combat damage to a player, you draw a card and lose a life. And Void, at the beginning of your end step, we get to have a 2/2 robot with something left. So that's pretty much the plan. Also, it's non-land permanent, so the tokens will really count. So this will really be a big feedback loop. So other cards of note: Servondam, +1/+0 and Death Touch, guaranteeing a lot of things are gonna die. Auxiliary boosters. So it's 5 mana, 3/4 flyer that leaves behind an equipment. Okay. Night Luminary, Warp. Warp is definitely going to be a thing filling the void. This one, it's Warp to create a creature, to create more creatures. This looks like someone from Guardians of the Galaxy, I just don't know who. Okay, so we have some removal, grab kill, vote out. Okay, our removal's a bit expensive so far. This one, let's see if we have cheaper removal. We sacrifice. When this creature returns up to one target permanent you control to its owner's hands. Okay, so that's nice savings. You draw 2 cards, lose 2 life. Or if we void, we get the better option, which each opponent loses 2 life instead of us. Okay, here's another piece of removal. Dubious Delicacy. Also feeds into void when you sacrifice. Grav Ship, gets stuff back. Monoist, when it dies, creates... Okay, so it dying... so you still get something even when it dies. Okay, this is another. This is a bit on the cheaper end, but it is still it's still a payoff. Okay, warp is good. When this creature enters, so basically the stuff that comes with extra tokens gives us some more stuff to feed in. It's pretty nice. I like that a lot of this is sacrifice another creature or an artifact. So stuff like the Virus Beetle is a pretty good fit. The Color Zealot is pretty much a solid one for giving us on-demand sacrifice effects or triggering void. Light Blade, sure. This is probably the weakest of the bunch. Oblivion. Okay, so we have about 5 pieces of removal. Not too bad. We'll see how well this compares to the others. This is really gonna be our first taste of the format. See how it's gonna pan out. So we need to see. We're gonna see how much it compares to everything else. Yeah, I pretty much removed the green screen behind me for now because I couldn't It didn't exactly fit, so there was no real incentive. Okay, so we got Virus Beetle turn 2 is always good. It's got some early removal, actually a bunch of early stuff that's nice. Opponent taking, I don't remember, I think it's a free mulligan. We can void. I kind of want to void later. So pretty much the plan is get stuff down first before he's... Discard Barons is a bit of odd timing. I would definitely love to have the Lightless Evangel first so that we get... and it's sacrifice, but note it's sacrifice, so... And this one is exile, so that doesn't count. This one is sacrifice, so this will feed it. We have to be careful with the wording of some of these cards. That's why Lightless Evangel, a little bit. I kind of want to play this one first so that I wanted to sequence it that way so that now create a... Okay, so they're just gonna wipe it. So might as well sack the Surveil. Okay, so that's an interesting board wipe. We do keep discard Barons. So we'll play this one first. So little breaking is pretty... It being instant speed is kind of a... One I could have waited, actually. This was instant speed. Well, maybe not so... Oh, this only +1/+0. Yep, I misread that. I saw the equip cost. I thought that was +3/+0. So I should have really played. So I sequenced that a bit wrong. Or maybe not. Just off this, I guess. I guess it was a good 2-4-1. So yeah, we probably were better off playing this first. And what we could have done is we could have warped this one. Oh. They get the ladder tokens. Oh, this is another mythic? Yeah, we're gonna station with this because why not? We're not in a rush. But yeah, our opponents were gonna beat us, and we did make that critical mistake earlier. Oh yeah, take note that this diplomatic relations they might have removal. They did not. And might as well station, we're not blocking. Now that said, this one is pay 2 lives to sacrifice to draw cards, so... They probably... Yeah, if they don't have anything else, they might just grab a land. That's 1, 2, 3... They pitched 1, but that's quite a bunch of removal. We pretty much just keep swinging while we can, then we just start stationing this when we get there later, but 12 charge counters. is quite a lot, and we're also kind of out on cards. Opponent finally hit something big. Ooh. Now we actually had enough mana to move it, kind of moved it around. No, neither of these have trample, which is kind of the good news. I'm willing to take for now because opponent did not double it up yet. Okay. I think we already played the equipment out, so there's no point sacrificing this. So, nope, we played this out. And this is activate only as a sorcery, so yeah, we're gonna need to cash this in. So okay, grab ship. We did start hitting the kill spell, so that's kind of the good news for us. Okay. They might as well cast this one, though. It's still a damage trigger. If they have a combat trick, so be it. Need to get out of the way. Okay, some trample, but not too much. So this is interesting now that what did they hit off this? I can't read this. Ooh, draw cards. That would be and this is a check. So they'll probably X. Okay. Then the moment, and take note, the moment there is player controls no creatures, it's at end step, so we will lose this effect and get. I might just get the Might Form Harmonizer. Though I probably wish I didn't play that land. So which creature do I want to get back? Oh yeah, because I played this one out. Oops, I made a mistake there. I forgot by playing creature this doesn't come out. So some things that we need to figure out, things we have to learn a bit. And actually, yeah, I could draw a card. It might be quite oh, they could try to exile. No, just gonna hit us for 7. That's fine. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh wait, yeah, we're gonna warp this. Gain some life back. Yeah, it's still pretty much a learning process, so. But now our opponent is. Ooh, they will activate. It does have flying trample, so something to keep in mind. So it's 3, so they will be able to. They will be able to hit us for quite a bit of damage. They're one short of just... Yeah, they're one short of just some crewing with this one. Yeah, they have to crew. They would have to crew it both anyway. The extra counters didn't quite matter here. But now it's an air battle, so we're gonna have to keep that in mind. So we're crossing our fingers our opponent doesn't have a trample effect, otherwise we're really dead. Okay, this is the Harrow effect. So hit 1 land, get 2. It's a good way to thin the deck. It just doesn't, but it didn't. But our opponent did not have the landfall payoffs. They're actually drawing a lot more cards than we are, so. They could crew this just to have an extra flyer. Yeah, but they're definitely loading this up because there's a lot of... So getting some... Yeah, we do need to... We might have to... Yeah, we might have to consider drawing some cards. Jump block is fine, we still gain life. Now, I can move this out, cause this to die, force... You know, let's go for it. Now, the other sequence is we could have tried to draw more cards. Yeah, but this is a little bit dicey. I can hit for 4 right now. Wow, we really drew all the lands. And this is a check on my end step. Yeah, we kind of goofed this one up. Our opponent, well, we did draw a lot of lands in a row. That was an issue. We really needed to sacrifice. I think instead of just moving that one, we should have just paid to sacrifice draw the cards first. So we kind of made the mistake on that one, but we're learning. We're learning. We're figuring out the deck. That make the mistakes early and when it's not that consequential, so that when you get too much later, but still, Magic is a very complicated game. You can still make quite a lot of mistakes. So we ended up with a really grindy deck based on these selections. So I do have to play this just. So basically, play this first. The next turn, I definitely want to play one of these 3 drops. Okay, so next turn we have us. Landing zone. Basically a doubling season. Oh. Now I could just. But this is, oh, it's sorcery. Okay, that's another note. This is sorcery speed, so we kind of don't want to just. Then again, sacrifice. Okay, not the worst. We can. I kind of want to draw 2 cards too, so. Not the strongest one in the bunch. And this is an end step check, so. And this is sacrifice on. Well, I can actually swing. I'm gonna swing with both. Trying to remember if there's a plus. Okay, no need to reveal. And we'll do this one because we have quite an. There you go. That is the deck popping off. Now, thankfully, our opponents Opponent's creatures are still kind of manageable at 3/3s. Okay, 4. Oh, it's 5/5 now, so less manageable. And this is an end of turn check, so it's only gonna get one counter at a time. Do they have another creature? The reason I'm doing this is because I want to draw the cards first. Okay, we'll keep that. That's a plan. If we can hit the land, I'd be able to play Comet Crawler, get that set up. We did not hit the land, but we do hit the Virus Beat. Right? Yep. Yeah, Void is becoming really helpful here. I'm also going to ask if everyone is getting the planet as part of the pack. If that's the case, then it's soup. Okay, pretty nasty. They might just end up, they might just end up stationing this. But I probably would not station it all the way, right away. Yeah, just the warp one, it makes sense. Because now this one, when it enters, everything gets, Death Touch is super key. And if I can hit another, no I didn't, I whiffed on the land. They are forced to block. And there you go. That does it. Pretty much, forced to lose your board state is not the place where you want to be. Okay, so we had one really close game. Got one good one here. And what do we get? I don't. Gems are always good. Pretty interesting lore bit there. Haven't exactly been. Okay, so definitely want to warp the Luminary at 2. Actually, oh, this has been. I didn't realize this had Convoke. So. Yeah, because this is sorcery speed, the warp out doesn't. Oh, wait, no, it's when you cast a warp spell. So that will actually work. But first things first, let's let's mess with their let's mess with their hand. Oh, they add their own virus beetle. So it's the blue-black artifacts. Yeah, that makes more sense for me because as long as you control an artifact, this creature gets +1. Oh, they're out of artifacts. Okay. And I can convoke this, but I probably won't. Because I can technically convoke it. I can technically convoke it next turn, even if I miss the land drop. When it finally hits their black source, doesn't. And this is also actually, I'm starting to realize now that a lot of the removals are sorceries, so this might be an issue. Well, we're definitely nuking this guy. Oh, it doesn't have to be ours. Well, but they did counter it. Okay, so maybe that was not a great follow-up. We should have been suspicious when our opponent held it back. We really needed it. Now we can grab something with this. No, take note. This is whenever it is dealt damage, so he can have it ping itself. So that is how it draws a card, loses a life. Well, probably I don't think they'll swing. Yeah, they won't. Yeah, I'm gonna wait. Let's just give. Yeah, I'm starting to think that every one of these is gonna have a free planet. Oh. And instead of committing them to combat, I can now just... Let's see, double check. I do need to deal combat damage to them. But I can start converting these. And this is if a non-land permanent, so Void is active, okay. And this is my end step, so meanwhile opponent gets to keep drawing cards, which is a very big boon to them. You only get to surveil. Well, they get to surveil too. Hoping to hit our mythic so that we can start pairing their board off, I guess. Okay. Basically, converting our 1/1s into 2/2s is not the worst thing we can do. There's the argument that I might want to move this onto the elegy, but for now, I don't need to make it any more. Let's force them to have a counter spell. Nope, they don't, and they concede because everything gets that touch. Ah. Okay, because our Vondam can actually end games quite by itself. Though I'm a bit concerned that the presence of the planets are. I'm not. That's the third one I've seen with a planet. Ooh, got ourselves a Knights of the Round. Not so sure how representative it is if all the decks get. That said, I do like the. Okay, we got our Super Void. I'm willing to keep this, but we are really shy on creatures here. I guess we can do the grab ship. Okay, never mind. I probably want to play this first. So now we have the same thing. So actually, it's also an ish case of do we want it early or do we want it later when our opponent has actually big stuff. So maybe we don't play it out right away. Ooh, one's going for the grab ship, right? Oh, so this is their other rare. No abilities. Okay. So that's a 4/4, so I kind of want to. Now let's just play this one. Now they can. Okay, so here's the thing. If he swings at it, we trigger Void, so... But they could sacrifice instead, so we'll just trigger the Void anyway. Embrace Oblivion, sacrifice the Destroyer? I guess we can do that. I would like to play this first though, but that's probably not. What we can do instead is... Ooh, those are the lands that we needed. Oh yeah, because it enters tapped. Okay, so that's another thing of note. So now we're incentivized to play Sotera, so I kind of wish we got the LG out. We are gonna have to take a beating first. There's also the argument just playing Exosuit Savior, but let's see. And this is dice, so removing this with Exosuit does not count. Okay, now they have plenty of choices, so this is actually not going to go very well for us. You probably lose some serve on them because that's the... You could also lose one of the removal spells, but I suspect serve on them is the most important one. Yep, there you go. Yeah, both of these being sorcery kind of ruins it a bit for us. Yeah, because if I tap out for this, I would not have enough for that. I have no way of sacrificing. But the best bet is to stem the bleeding for now. You can even make the argument that I should. So if they have... Pretty much the plan is just to crash the grav ship onto... Presumably is their boosted robot. Gain some life in the process. Get a trigger. I will also take trading robots down. So they could, yep, bounce that, get some benefit that way. So it's when a creature controlled dies. I guess I just play it like this. Yeah, they're now incentivized to do that. I don't think they should be trading down. Even if they have the token. Yeah, this is gonna be quite brutal since we kind of know what everyone has. And yeah, now... And, yep. Now we're stuck. There's apparently enough flyers. There's apparently enough flyers to go around. So flying is actually going to be quite a thing. We actually had we really had a bad layout on that one. See if we can get our third win. I know we can. So We'll take the free mulligan because we don't exactly... Now we definitely keep this. So I definitely want to save the warp for this one, so I would probably play this one first. And now there's a reason to say Exosuit bounce back the Honored Knight Captain. If our opponent wants to swing that, I am more than willing to trade. Yep, had the combat trick, but it's best that they used it on one of these cheap ones instead of one of these other more expensive ones. One is probably gonna try to grow this, so I'm kind of anticipating something along those lines. Yeah, getting the delicacy out of the way, that was super low cost. I lost one card, they lost one card. And this one's gonna be a bit more annoying. So I'm actually not sure which one I want to take out now. Hitting a land would be nice. Otherwise, just warping Night Luminary. Remember not to sacrifice this. Okay, opponent, I'm going to take this one. Yeah, because this is going to go back to warp, so we actually sacrifice the token. But now there's a significant chance that we may need to... Not too bad. Okay, finally hit our 4th land. I am willing to play the Comet Crawler first. Opponent can kind of see the setup where I play Night Luminary that produces the 1/1 token. I get to swing kind of big. Opponent's been stuck on... Oh! That's quite... They need it... Well, they're probably gonna get the Alpha Rail. Skittermaw, yeah, they need to draw cards because they've been missing land drops. To be fair, we've only just hit our land drop recently too. Okay, now we're cooking. Now we can use the Exosuit Savior to bounce back the Night Luminary. Get to do this all over again. When it hits their 4th land, decides to grab kill that one first, makes sense. This is probably the one well, I guess this is also instant, but that's it. Opponent's kind of cutting it close here. We could use the code transmissions if we with the right sacrifice effect. Like I could some. Okay, we got him. Nope. That doesn't have fly. No, that. No, he's forced to block it like that. Honestly, he would. Yeah, he'd have to give up the sampler. Then draw 2 cards, and you lose 2 life. Now we. So there we go. So that is a pretty. There you go. Quite a convincing win. That's gonna be it for this episode of Magic Arena Run. But let's see what we get as ours. Probably want to do one more to close it out. But it's quite a long episode already. We get to Divert Disaster, but oh yeah, that Divert Disaster actually was disastrous for us in that earlier game. That's it. That's gonna be it for this episode of Magic Arena Run. If you like what you saw, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our notifications and whatnot. Hopefully you guys enjoy your jump-in moments. And in fact, you know what? Let's jump into this pack, see what we get. That's gonna be it. Yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Hope to see you guys again next time. Take care. God bless. 0 Point Ballad. Ooh. Stay safe wherever you are. Have a great week, everyone. Do take care.